In a world where emotions seem to spin us around like leaves in a storm, what would it mean to find stillness? To find within yourself an unshakable anchor that grounds you amidst the chaos of modern life. Imagine for a moment a life where you're no longer at the mercy of every criticism, disappointment, or unexpected turn. You're calm, resilient, and prepared to face whatever comes your way. This is the essence of Stoicism, a timeless philosophy that offers practical wisdom for mastering our emotions and living with purpose. But how can you apply Stoicism in your everyday life? How can you harness this ancient wisdom to control your emotions, even when everything around you feels like it's spiraling out of control? Through the story of Leo, a man much like us, navigating the storms of modern life, we'll explore 7 powerful Stoic lessons. Each lesson is a compass, guiding him and you to face challenges with clarity, compassion, and inner strength. And, as you'll see, the last lesson holds a secret that transforms how we see the world and ourselves. Are you ready to discover these 7 Stoic keys to emotional resilience? Let's dive in, beginning with a lesson as foundational as it is freeing. 1. See obstacles as opportunities. The path is where the obstacle lies. Leo had recently started his dream job. Everything seemed perfect until one day, without warning, a major project he'd been working on was abruptly cancelled. Frustrated and confused, Leo felt his confidence plummet. The hours he'd invested, the late nights, the sacrifices, it all felt wasted. He found himself asking, "Why did this happen to me?" But what if, instead of frustration, he viewed this setback as a hidden opportunity? Here's where the Stoic lesson comes in. The obstacle is not the end, it's often the very path forward. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most celebrated thinkers, once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This single line holds a profound truth, that every challenge we encounter has the potential to redirect our lives in powerful ways, but only if we allow it to do so. For Leo, that obstacle soon began to take on new meaning. As he looked closer, he realized that the skills he'd honed on the project were transferable. He could use them to address a different issue his team was facing. And as he put his energy into this new focus, he noticed that not only was he growing professionally, but he was also developing resilience, learning to adapt, learning to see setbacks as a redirection rather than an end. This isn't just about stoically enduring challenges, it's about transforming how we view them. Ask yourself, when life puts a boulder in your path, do you see it as an insurmountable block, or do you look for a way around, over, or even through it? Leo's experience teaches us that Stoicism isn't about passively accepting hardships, but actively finding the growth within them. Obstacles, in this light, become essential guides, shaping us in ways success alone could never do. And this isn't just Leo's story. It's a universal experience. Think back to a time when you faced a significant challenge. Perhaps it was a job loss, a failed relationship, or a health crisis. Now, consider how that experience, though difficult, might have led you to something new, something better. It's the Stoic approach to adversity. Instead of asking, "Why me?" we learn to ask, "What can this teach me?" Through this lens, life's obstacles become opportunities for resilience, courage, and growth. They force us out of our comfort zones, prompting us to become better, stronger, more capable. With each obstacle, we move closer to our true potential. But Leo's journey doesn't end here. After learning to see obstacles as opportunities, he would soon face another crucial Stoic lesson, a practice that would deepen his resilience and give him control over his reactions in ways he never thought possible. Join us in the next part of this journey as we explore the transformative power of reflection before reaction. 2. Reflect before reacting. Pause in the face of provocation. Not long after his project setback, Leo found himself in another challenging situation. He was in a meeting when his colleague, Emily, publicly criticized his approach to a recent assignment. The comment stung. He felt his cheeks flush and his pulse quicken. Instinctively, he wanted to defend himself, to snap back with a sharp reply. But then he remembered something crucial he had been studying in his journey into Stoicism: the importance of pausing, of reflecting before reacting. In today's world, we are often pushed to react instantly, whether it's to an email, a social media comment, or a quick remark from a coworker. This immediacy feels almost natural in the digital age, yet it is often the source of much unnecessary conflict and regret. The Stoics, however, recognize the power in waiting, in taking a moment to observe and understand our reactions before we express them. Leo recalled the words of Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, who once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This reminded Leo that it was often his interpretation of situations, not the situations themselves, that caused him distress. So, Leo took a deep breath and allowed himself a moment to reflect. Why was Emily's comment bothering him so much? Was it his ego feeling threatened? Was it because he feared her critique might be accurate? As he considered these questions, his anger began to dissipate. He could see that his emotional response wasn't a reaction to Emily alone, but a response to deeper insecurities within himself. This pause allowed him to respond calmly and professionally, asking Emily for clarification rather than rushing to defend himself. Instead of escalating the situation, his choice created an opportunity for open dialogue. The practice of reflection gives us a momentary distance from our emotions, allowing us to act based on reason rather than impulse. And this isn't just about managing workplace interactions. It applies to all areas of life. Imagine how many arguments, misunderstandings, or hurtful words could be avoided if we each paused to reflect before reacting. Think about the last time you reacted impulsively. Was it worth it? Or could a brief moment of reflection have changed the outcome? For Leo, this practice became transformative. Not only did it prevent unnecessary conflict, but it also taught him something about himself. Every time he took a moment to reflect, he learned a little more about his own emotional triggers and thought patterns. He began to see patterns in his reactions and understand the deeper motivations driving his responses. In a way, each moment of reflection became a small act of self-discovery. This lesson, simple in concept yet challenging in practice, is at the heart of Stoicism. By pausing, we make room for wisdom to enter. We become more empathetic, more understanding of ourselves and others, and ultimately more at peace. As Leo continued on his Stoic journey, he would encounter yet another lesson that would deepen his practice: the art of maintaining inner calm and balance, no matter how intense the emotional roller coaster of life became. Join us as we explore how Leo learned to cultivate dispassion, the key to staying grounded amid the storms of life. 3. Practice dispassion. Observe without attachment. Leo's path to emotional mastery continued to evolve as he encountered yet another challenge. A close friend, David, confided in him about a critical decision that deeply affected them both. David had decided to move overseas for work, leaving behind their long-standing friendship. Initially, Leo felt a wave of sadness, disappointment, and even resentment. The news was difficult to accept. After all, David had been his confidant, his partner in countless adventures. How could he just leave? But then Leo remembered another Stoic principle he'd been working on: dispassion. This doesn't mean numbing ourselves to emotion or becoming indifferent, but rather learning to observe our emotions without letting them overpower us. It is the art of viewing our feelings like a gentle observer, acknowledging them, but not allowing them to dictate our actions. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Leo realized that while he couldn't change David's decision, he could change his reaction to it. Could he observe his feelings of loss without becoming consumed by them? Could he let go of the attachment without letting go of the friendship? In a quiet moment, Leo decided to try something new. He sat down, closed his eyes, and imagined his emotions as passing clouds in a wide open sky. His sadness was there, his sense of loss too, but he visualized them drifting by, like clouds he could observe without holding on. In doing so, he realized he could appreciate the years of friendship he had shared with David without clinging to the idea that things must stay the same. This practice of dispassion allowed Leo to remain centered. By seeing his emotions as passing experiences rather than defining truths, he could navigate his friend's departure with acceptance, even gratitude. It wasn't about denying his sadness. It was about understanding that his attachment to things remaining the same was causing his pain. Practicing dispassion doesn't mean we detach ourselves from the world. Instead, it allows us to engage more fully with a clear mind and a stable heart. Imagine for a moment if you could look at every experience, every moment of happiness, every moment of sadness, without needing it to last forever. How liberating would that be? How many relationships could be saved, and how much heartache could be lessened if we learned to observe without attaching? As Leo continued to practice this Stoic art, he found himself becoming more grounded. Situations that once left him emotionally drained no longer had the same effect. He could stay present, respond with empathy, and maintain his inner balance. Leo realized that dispassion wasn't about turning away from life. It was about fully immersing himself in it, all the while knowing that he didn't need to hold on too tightly. Leo's practice of dispassion became a cornerstone of his emotional resilience, allowing him to face life's twists and turns with grace and calm. But this wasn't the end of his Stoic journey. Next, he would discover a question that would transform his perspective on everyday frustrations and long-term anxieties alike. In our next lesson, we'll explore how Leo learned to ask himself a simple yet profound question. Will this matter in 5 years? It's a practice that challenges us to see beyond the moment, bringing clarity and peace to even our most stressful situations. 4. Ask, will this matter in 5 years? A question for perspective. A few weeks after his friend David left, Leo found himself in a frustrating situation. He had worked tirelessly on a proposal for a potential client, putting in late nights and missing out on personal time, only to have the client reject it in favor of a competitor's offer. Anger and frustration welled up inside him. What was the point of all that work if it was just going to be dismissed so easily, he thought. But then, just as his mind began to spiral, Leo remembered another Stoic tool he'd been practicing. The question, will this matter in 5 years? So, Leo sat down, took a deep breath, and genuinely considered it. Would this client rejection matter in 5 years? The more he thought about it, the clearer the answer became. 5 years from now, this specific deal wouldn't matter. What would matter would be the skills he was building, the resilience he was gaining, and the growth he was experiencing through every challenge. He could already see how much he'd grown in his ability to handle disappointment and learn from it. That, he realized, would matter far more in the long run than any one proposal. This question of future relevance became a powerful tool in Leo's daily life. He started applying it to all sorts of situations. A traffic jam that made him late, a critical remark from a friend, even small inconveniences like a delayed package. Each time he'd pause and ask himself, will this matter in 5 years? Often he found that the things that caused him the most stress were fleeting. Once he saw them from the perspective of 5 years, they lost their power over him. Think about your own life. When was the last time you let something relatively minor completely disrupt your peace of mind? Perhaps it was a missed opportunity, an argument, or a bad day at work. Now, ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? By grounding yourself in this question, you may find that many of life's irritations and disappointments are mere passing events in the grand scheme of things. And it's not only about lessening stress. This question also helped Leo clarify his priorities. He started asking himself what he truly wanted his life to look like in 5 years. He realized that he wanted to be more resilient, more at peace with himself, and more focused on personal growth than on external success alone. This question guided him not just in the face of challenges, but also in deciding how he wanted to spend his time and energy. The beauty of this Stoic practice lies in its simplicity and depth. It doesn't ask you to deny your feelings or dismiss your struggles. It simply invites you to see beyond the immediate moment, allowing a bigger perspective to shape your reaction. With time, Leo found that this question became second nature, a mental habit that brought him back to what truly mattered. Leo's perspective on life was evolving, and with it, his sense of inner peace was growing stronger. But he wasn't done yet. As he continued on his Stoic journey, he encountered another practice that would deepen his sense of clarity and accountability, a daily ritual that ancient Stoics held dear. Join us in the next lesson as Leo discovers the value of keeping a Stoic journal, a practice that serves as a mirror for self-reflection and personal growth. 5. Keep a Stoic journal, a mirror for self-reflection. As Leo continued to explore Stoicism, he came across a practice that many ancient Stoics cherished, a ritual so simple yet so powerful, keeping a daily journal. At first, he was hesitant. Journaling felt like a chore, something he didn't have time for in his already busy life. But as he read more about Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor who wrote his thoughts in what we now know as the Meditations, he became curious. Could this practice of introspective writing really help him navigate his emotions more effectively? Leo decided to try it, beginning with just a few lines each night. He'd reflect on the events of the day, the emotions he felt, and the reactions he had to various situations. Some nights, he would write about something that had upset him and explore why it triggered such a strong response. Other nights, he would note moments of joy or gratitude, realizing that even small positive experiences had a profound impact on his mood. One entry, for example, centered on a challenging conversation he'd had with a family member. The conversation had left him feeling misunderstood and frustrated, but as he wrote about it, he began to see a different perspective. Why had he felt such a strong need to defend himself? Was his frustration rooted in the conversation itself, or was it a response to deeper, unspoken expectations he had placed on himself and others? Through journaling, Leo could step back and observe his own mind, identifying patterns and triggers he hadn't been aware of. This nightly practice became a kind of mirror, reflecting his internal landscape with clarity and honesty. He found that as he reflected on his day, he was better able to notice recurring themes in his thoughts and behaviors. In one entry, he recognized his tendency to take things personally, a habit that often led to unnecessary conflicts or hurt feelings. In another, he noticed how frequently he worried about the future, a habit that was stealing his joy in the present. Journaling also gave Leo a sense of accountability. He could no longer ignore patterns of behavior that he knew weren't serving him well. Writing them down made them real, prompting him to consciously work on areas where he wanted to grow. For instance, he realized that he often let minor inconveniences, like a delayed meeting or a missed deadline, ruin his mood. But by writing about these incidents, he became aware of the need to adopt a more balanced perspective, reminding himself of the question, will this matter in 5 years? This habit of nightly reflection was transformative in ways he hadn't anticipated. It didn't just make him more aware of his emotions, it gave him the tools to manage them with greater skill. With each entry, Leo felt as though he was building a map of his own mind, slowly understanding the pathways of his thoughts, emotions, and reactions. This deeper understanding became a foundation for his emotional resilience, allowing him to face future challenges with greater confidence and calm. and the benefits extended beyond his personal growth. By cultivating self-awareness, Leo found that he became a better listener, a more understanding friend, and a more compassionate partner. The practice of introspection led him to view others with the same understanding and patience he was developing for himself. In a way, his journal became a trusted friend, a silent confidant that held his thoughts without judgment, helping him grow into a person he was proud of. As he continued this practice, Leo began to see journaling not as a task, but as a gift he gave himself each night, a few quiet moments to reflect, recalibrate, and set intentions for the days ahead. It became a sacred space for self-discovery, an anchor in his journey toward emotional mastery. The wisdom he gained through journaling made him eager for the next phase of his Stoic journey. He had developed a deep understanding of his emotions, but he sensed there was something more he could learn, something that could turn even life's hardest challenges into moments of growth. The next lesson would teach him exactly that: how to view obstacles not as setbacks, but as opportunities. Stay with us as we explore this powerful perspective, one that would help Leo see life's difficulties in a radically new light. 6. See obstacles as opportunities. The path through the challenge. One day, Leo was hit with unexpected news. His company was downsizing, and his position was among those affected. For anyone, such an event could easily feel like a catastrophe. Leo's mind raced through the consequences: lost income, disrupted plans, and an uncertain future. But as the initial shock began to settle, he remembered a powerful Stoic teaching he had read: "The obstacle is the way." This phrase, which originated from Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, reminded him that within every challenge lies a hidden opportunity, a chance to grow and redefine oneself. In his initial frustration, Leo found himself asking, "Why is this happening to me?" But he quickly realized that this was the wrong question. Instead, he shifted his mindset, asking, "What can I learn from this? How can this experience shape me for the better?" He was determined to find a way forward, and he decided to embrace the idea that setbacks can become stepping stones if approached with the right attitude. With this shift in mindset, Leo began to see possibilities where, moments ago, he had seen only loss. Losing his job became an invitation to reassess his career path and ask himself what he truly wanted to do. Was he pursuing a profession that aligned with his values and goals? Or had he been moving forward out of routine, afraid to break from the familiar? This experience, though difficult, forced him to confront these questions with honesty. As he navigated this challenging time, Leo recalled a story he'd once read about a river encountering a boulder. Instead of stopping, the river finds ways around it, reshaping its path, sometimes even carving a new course. He realized that life's obstacles work much the same way. Each difficulty we face doesn't stop us, it redirects us, prompting us to explore new paths we might never have considered. So Leo started exploring different options. He began networking, reconnecting with old friends, and taking on freelance projects to support himself. Through these efforts, he met people who shared his values and discovered new opportunities that aligned more closely with his passions. What had once seemed like a crisis was slowly transforming into a chance for reinvention. The obstacle, as the Stoics had said, was indeed becoming the way. This experience taught him that life's greatest challenges often hold the seeds of our most meaningful growth. By seeing obstacles as opportunities, we invite resilience and creativity into our lives, and as we face each difficulty, we become stronger, more adaptable, more prepared for whatever comes next. Leo's journey was a reminder that even the most daunting setbacks have the potential to shape us in ways success alone never could. Now, ask yourself, can you think of a time when an obstacle led to an unexpected opportunity? Perhaps a failed project, a difficult breakup, or a missed chance brought you closer to something far better than what you initially lost. This is the Stoic way of viewing life, a perspective that transforms every hardship into a moment of potential. Through this practice, Leo discovered a new level of emotional resilience. He no longer feared life's challenges. Instead, he welcomed them as teachers, guiding him toward deeper understanding and self-discovery. Obstacles, he realized, weren't barriers. They were catalysts for growth. Leo's journey of resilience was nearly complete, but there was one more lesson he would soon learn, a lesson that would deepen his sense of gratitude and bring a profound sense of peace to his life. This final Stoic practice, the practice of gratitude, would illuminate his path in ways he hadn't expected. Join us in the final lesson as we explore how Leo learned to cultivate gratitude, finding beauty and meaning in even the simplest moments of life. 7. Practice gratitude. Finding wealth in every moment. In the midst of life's challenges, Leo had learned many powerful lessons. He'd learned to reflect before reacting, to see obstacles as opportunities, and to cultivate dispassion and self-awareness. But as he looked back on his journey, there was one practice that tied it all together, adding a profound richness to his life: gratitude. Gratitude wasn't new to Leo, but like many, he often overlooked it amid the rush of daily life. He thought of gratitude as something that came naturally in moments of celebration or good fortune. Yet, as he delved deeper into Stoicism, he came to realize that gratitude, practiced daily and intentionally, was a wellspring of resilience and inner peace. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." This idea sparked something within Leo, inviting him to pause and consider everything he already had, right here and now. One evening, Leo decided to put this practice into action. He sat quietly, listing 3 things he was grateful for that day. They were simple: his morning coffee, the sound of rain outside his window, and a brief but heartfelt conversation with an old friend. As he reflected, he felt a sense of calm wash over him. These small, often overlooked moments held a quiet beauty, and he realized how they were the true foundation of his happiness. This practice of gratitude quickly became part of Leo's daily routine. Each night, he would take a few minutes to note the things he appreciated, big or small. Some days it was a supportive conversation with a colleague. Other days it was the sight of a beautiful sunset or a particularly satisfying workout. He noticed that as he focused on gratitude, his perspective began to shift. He became more aware of life's small wonders, more content with what he had, and less driven by the endless pursuit of more. Gratitude, he realized, wasn't just a response to favorable circumstances. It was a way of seeing the world, a lens that highlighted the abundance that already existed in his life. And in moments of difficulty, it became his anchor, a reminder that even amid challenges, there were always things to be thankful for. Whether it was the lesson in a setback, the support of loved ones, or simply the opportunity to learn and grow, gratitude kept him grounded. Think about this. When was the last time you felt genuinely grateful, not just for big achievements or milestones, but for the simple things? A warm meal, a good book, the laughter of a friend. Imagine how your life might change if you practice this form of gratitude daily, allowing it to become a habit that frames your outlook and fills your heart with contentment. Leo's commitment to gratitude didn't just enrich his personal life, it also deepened his relationships. He started expressing appreciation openly, thanking friends and family for their kindness and support. This simple act of expressing gratitude fostered warmth and understanding, strengthening his connections with others. In turn, this web of positive relationships became a source of strength and joy, reminding him that true wealth isn't measured in possessions, but in meaningful connections and moments of shared appreciation. As he continued this practice, Leo's life transformed in ways he hadn't anticipated. Challenges still arose, but he faced them with a calm, grateful heart. And the moments of happiness he once took for granted became precious memories, each one a testament to the fullness of life. By integrating gratitude into his journey, Leo discovered a new level of peace. His life, once filled with stress, worry, and constant striving, was now marked by contentment and joy. Gratitude, he realized, was the ultimate Stoic practice, one that illuminated each of the other lessons he had learned. And so, as we conclude this journey with Leo, I invite you to consider your own life. How might Stoicism help you find strength, resilience, and inner calm? Could the practice of gratitude bring more depth to your everyday moments? Let's reflect on the power of these lessons and how they might shape our lives. If Leo's journey resonated with you, consider trying these practices yourself. Start small, perhaps by reflecting on a single lesson or keeping a journal of gratitude. And as you embark on this path, know that you are not alone. Together, we are part of a community seeking to live with greater peace and purpose. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you found value in these Stoic lessons, please share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear how Stoicism has impacted your life or how you plan to start integrating these practices. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to continue spreading the wisdom of Stoicism. Until next time, stay grounded, stay grateful, and keep seeking wisdom.